In the sky city of Ethelgard, noise was a physical currency. The citizens spoke in booming voices, traded in thunderous laughter, and manufactured massive, clanging brass bells to fill the atmosphere with sound. The louder a person or a family could be, the higher their social standing. It was believed that the great storm cloud that kept Ethelgard floating in the sky was fed entirely by the vibrations of their chaotic, never-ending noise. Lyra, however, was born mute. Unable to speak or contribute to the city's cacophony, she was viewed as a beggar, living in the lowest shadows of the floating docks. But Lyra possessed a secret magic that the loud citizens couldn't comprehend. She could see sound waves as glowing, tangled threads spinning through the air. While others threw noise into the world, Lyra spent her time gently catching those threads with a pair of wooden needles, knitting them into soft, silent fabrics. One morning, the Sky City grew too greedy. To celebrate the king's jubilee, the engineers constructed the grand megaphone, an instrument meant to blast a sound so loud it would shake the earth below. When they fired it, the sound wasn't just loud. It shattered the fragile acoustic balance of the sky. The massive vibration tore through the floating island's foundation, splitting the stone. Worst of all, the storm cloud beneath them became overstimulated, transforming from a gentle lifting breeze into a violent, black hurricane that threatened to rip Ethelgard to pieces. The citizens screamed, but their panic only made the hurricane stronger, feeding the storm with more chaotic vibrations. The city began to tilt, buildings sliding off the edges into the open air. Lyra knew she had to act. She ran to the highest plaza, carrying a massive, heavy blanket she had been knitting for years out of the city's stolen, discarded quiet moments. As the wind roared around her, she shook out the fabric. It didn't flap in the wind. Instead, it acted like a sponge. With all her might, Lyra threw the blanket of quietude over the mouth of the grand megaphone. The moment the fabric covered the brass horn, the sound waves were instantly absorbed. The blanket pulsed with a soft, soothing blue light as it drank in the destructive noise. Lyra then unraveled the edges of the blanket, letting the wind carry the silence outward across the entire city. As the quiet washed over Ethelgard, the hurricane instantly calmed, settling back into a peaceful, supportive white cloud. The floating city leveled out, saved from destruction. The citizens stood in absolute, stunned silence, a sensation they had never experienced before. They looked at Lyra, who stood peacefully at the plaza's center. From that day on, Ethelgard learned the value of a whisper, and Lyra was made the guardian of silence, ensuring the city would never destroy itself with its own voice again.